The question of whether we are the architects of our own lives or merely actors following a cosmic script is one that has haunted humanity since the dawn of consciousness. From the ancient philosophies of Greece to the cutting-edge labs of modern neuroscience, the debate between determinism and free will remains a polarizing challenge to our definition of what it means to be human. We often find ourselves at a crossroads, wondering if our choices truly matter or if the ink has already dried on the pages of our existence, leaving us to simply play out a pre-written part. In the Islamic tradition, this concept is known as qadar, or divine decree, a pillar of faith that balances God's absolute knowledge with the moral responsibility of the human being. To understand destiny, we must first acknowledge the scale of the universe, where billions of galaxies operate under fixed physical laws, yet within them, sentient beings feel a profound sense of agency. The Quran addresses this duality with clarity. Indeed, all things we created with predestination. Al-Qamar 54:49, suggesting a universe built on mathematical precision rather than chaos. This suggests a divine architecture where nothing happens by chance, yet it does not negate the human experience of choice. Rather, it provides the framework within which those choices exist. Modern data from behavioral psychology suggests that much of what we call choice is heavily influenced by our genetics, neurochemistry, and the deep-seated habits formed in early childhood. Socioeconomic studies show that a child born into poverty faces a vastly different set of destinies than one born into wealth, highlighting the fixed starting points of our physical journey. However, even within these rigid constraints, the human spirit consistently demonstrates a miraculous ability to pivot and overcome seemingly insurmountable odds through the power of the will. This leads us to the heart of the paradox. How can God know everything that will happen while still holding us accountable for the paths we choose to walk? The Quran provides a bridge for this gap by emphasizing the value of effort, and that there is not for man except that good for which he strives. An-Nam 53:39. This indicates that while the ultimate outcome is in the hands of the Creator, the striving and the intention are the true domain of the human being. Think of destiny not as a narrow railway where a locked-in passenger, but as a vast ocean where God set the currents, but you have the oars to navigate. Science attempts to explain this through chaos theory, where small changes in initial conditions can lead to vastly different outcomes, often called the butterfly effect. In a similar way, a single decision made today, a word spoken in kindness or a path taken in courage, can ripple through the fabric of your future in ways you cannot yet imagine. We must also look at the concept of Law Mahfuz, the preserved tablet, described as the master record of all that was, is, and will be existing beyond human time. Islamic scholars explain that God's knowledge is atemporal, meaning he exists outside the linear sequence of seconds, seeing our past, present, and future as a singular reality. For him to know what you will choose tomorrow does not mean he forced you. It means he is aware of your free exercise of will, much like a historian knows the past without causing it. Allah eliminates what he wills or confirms, and with him is the mother of the book, Arad 13:39, suggesting that there is space for the erasure and confirmation of events. This verse is a reminder that destiny is dynamic. It is not a static prism, but a living interaction between the infinite divine and the finite striving servant. Statistical trends in global health show that lifestyle choices, what we eat, and how we manage stress can significantly alter our biological destiny through epigenetics. This is a physical manifestation of the spiritual truth that our actions have weight and consequences woven directly into the natural laws governing our bodies. Yet we must humble ourselves before the uncontrollables, the sudden natural disasters or specific lineage we are born into, which the Quran classifies as essential trials. And we will surely test you with something of fear and hunger and a loss of wealth and lives. But give good tidings to the patient. Al-Baqarah 2:155. These tests are the fixed points of our destiny, designed not to break the human spirit, but to refine our character and reveal our true potential to our Creator. Many people confuse qadar with fatalism, the idea that because everything is decreed, we should sit idly by. This is a total rejection of the prophetic model. Prophetic teachings emphasize taking every possible worldly precaution, while simultaneously placing one's ultimate trust and heart in the hands of God. When a man asked the prophet, Pbuh, if he should leave his camel untied and trust in God, the reply was, tie it, and then trust in God. This synergy between human effort and spiritual surrender is the secret to a balanced life, preventing us from becoming arrogant in power or paralyzed by weakness. Data from the World Happiness Report shows that people who feel they have a sense of agency over their lives are significantly more satisfied and resilient. This sense of agency must be tempered with the humility that we are not the masters of the universe and do not control the ultimate timing of our successes. We see this in the corporate world, where a founder can work 20 hours a day with perfect strategy, yet a sudden market shift can dismantle the business in a week. In such moments, the believer finds peace in knowing that no disaster strikes, except that it is in a register before we bring it into being. Al-Hadid, 57:22. This awareness serves as a psychological shield, preventing the toxic pride of success and the crushing despair that usually follows failure. If you succeed, you recognize it was by the grace of God. If you fail, you recognize it as a decree carrying hidden wisdom. Every failure is simply a redirection toward a different part of your destiny, a concept that modern growth mindset theories are only just beginning to articulate. Modern quantum mechanics hints at superposition, where multiple probabilities exist at once until a specific observation or action is taken to collapse them. It serves as a powerful metaphor for how various potential paths are open to us until we commit to one through our intention and action. Indeed, Allah will not change the condition of a people until they change what is in themselves. Arad 13:11. This is the ultimate empowerment verse. It places the responsibility for collective and individual transformation squarely in our hands. Global history is filled with individuals who changed the destiny of their nations through sheer will, faith, and a refusal to accept the status quo. From civil rights movements to technological revolutions, human agency has been the catalyst for shifts that seemed impossible to the previous generation. Yet, even these shifts happen within the broader, permissive will of the divine, allowing for the progression of history toward its ultimate conclusion. One of the most beautiful aspects of destiny in Islam is the role of dua, or supplication, which acts as a bridge between the servant and the decree. It is said in the authentic hadith that nothing changes the divine decree except supplication, highlighting the power of the human voice. This suggests that there are conditional decrees. If the servant prays, path A is activated. If they remain silent, path B unfolds according to default laws. This makes our relationship with God a dynamic conversation, an active partnership where our humility can actually influence the unfolding of our world. And when my servants ask you, concerning me, indeed I am near, I respond to the invocation of the supplicant when he calls upon me. Al-Baqarah 2:186. The act of prayer is an exercise of control, choosing to reach out to the source of power rather than remaining a victim of circumstance. Research on neuroplasticity shows that consistent prayer can rewire the physical structures of our brains, changing how we process stress. This biological adaptability is a gift, allowing us to evolve beyond past traumas and the mistakes of our ancestors. We are not just biological machines. We are spiritual beings with the capacity to transcend our surroundings and rewrite our narrative through spiritual discipline. The concept of barakah, or divine blessing, also plays a crucial role, acting as a multiplier that transcends simple math and resources. Two people can have the same job and income, but one's life is full of peace and growth, while the other's is a cycle of stress and waste. This intangible element is often the result of our hidden intentions, our secret charities, and the ethical choices we make when no one is watching. And whoever fears Allah, He will make for him a way out, and will provide for him from where he does not expect. At-Talaq 65, 2-3. This unexpected provision is God intervening in the logical flow of cause and effect to reward those who prioritize their relationship with Him. Therefore, controlling your destiny involves a counterintuitive move, aligning your personal will closely with the divine will. When you want what God wants for you, and you accept His timing as perfect, you become psychologically invincible to the disappointments of the world. This state is called Rida, or radical contentment with the decree, representing the highest level of psychological maturity. It is not a passive state, but an active embrace of the present moment while still striving for a more righteous future. In the modern era, the rise of artificial intelligence creates a new form of algorithmic determinism that threatens our individual agency. Algorithms now predict what we will buy or who we will vote for, creating an invisible digital cage that narrows our choices based on past data. This technological destiny is a hall of mirrors based on our past, trapping us in a loop and preventing us from truly evolving. To control our destiny today, we must break these digital loops by seeking diverse perspectives and exercising genuine, unprofiled free will. The Quran reminds us that we are created as Khalifa or stewards, a title that implies decision-making power and creative authority. And mention, O Muhammad, when your Lord said to the angels, "Indeed, I will make upon the earth a successive authority." Al-Baqarah 2:30. This authority is the essence of our ability to shape the world according to the moral principles of justice and mercy that we choose to uphold. We must also consider the concept of sadaqah, or charity, which is spiritually said to push away a bad decree headed our way. By helping others, we shift the moral energy of our lives, potentially altering a negative outcome into a positive one through God's mercy. This creates a social destiny where our choices ripple outward, impacting the collective well-being of the entire community. The internet is full of manifestation gurus who claim you can have anything you want if you just visualize it hard enough. While positive thinking is valuable, the Islamic perspective is more honest. It acknowledges that our desires are often clouded by ego. But perhaps you hate a thing and it is good for you. And perhaps you love a thing and it is bad for you. Al-Baqarah 2:216. Real control is the ability to maintain your integrity and peace regardless of whether your specific worldly desire comes to pass. We see people who reach the absolute pinnacle of fame yet suffer from profound emptiness and a lack of control over their internal states. This proves that external control over circumstances is a shallow victory if it is not accompanied by the internal mastery of the soul. The true destiny we should seek to control, the only one that truly matters in eternity, is the final destination of our souls. Every small choice, choosing honesty when a lie is easier or kindness when anger is justified, is a brick in the architecture of your eternal home. God has given us the map in the Quran and the compass in the form of our innate human nature, the fitrah. And we shown Him the two ways? Al-Balad 90:10, referring to the paths of upliftment and degradation that lie before us. This is the most significant area of control we possess, the moral direction of our lives, which no external force can take away. No tyrant and no stroke of bad luck can force you to be a bad person. That remains a sovereign choice granted to you by your Creator. Even in the most restrictive environments, like a prison cell, the inner destiny of a person remains entirely their own. Consider Prophet Yusuf, who was thrown into a well, sold into slavery, and imprisoned for a crime he did not commit. Yusuf had zero control over his circumstances, yet through his character, his decree led him to become a powerful leader in Egypt. His story is proof that what looks like a series of setbacks is often the divine setup for a greater purpose we cannot yet see. And Allah is predominant over his affair, but most of the people do not know. Yusuf 12:21. We must confront the psychology of regret, The belief that if we had done one thing differently, our destiny would be better. The prophet taught us to avoid saying, "If only I had done such and such," as this opens the door for despair. Instead we say, "It is the decree of Allah, and He does what He wills." This mindset is far more empowering than believing you are a random accident. You can control your actions, your intentions, and your reactions to the things that you cannot change. You can control how much you seek knowledge, how much you love, and how much you contribute to the world. But you must leave the final results and the timing to the One who manages the orbits of the stars and the beating of every heart. This balance creates a life of peaceful productivity where you work as if everything depends on you and pray as if everything depends on God. Your destiny is not a static destination you arrive at, but the quality of the journey and the bond you build with your Creator. By focusing on the present and surrendering the outcome, you gain the ultimate control over your life's meaning. If you found this helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to QURANxINSIGHT for more deep dives into applying timeless wisdom to our modern world.